my review of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as someone who has played through Pokemon Violet. As a player, I give it a 6 out of 10. I think it is a truly, extremely fun game. It is just an enjoyable to play game. And it's just a good time. There was very few games that I had this much fun just jumping into and just playing it, very similar to Arceus. The reason I give it a 6 out of 10 though is because it's Pokemon. It is the biggest game in the entire world, and it feels half-assed. I almost want to give it a 5 because it fits the amount of effort it feels like they put into the game. It feels like cut corners around every corner. There's Pokemon being spawned in areas you can't reach. Like, there's all kinds of out of bounds that you can go into. There's so many bugs and glitches and problems that you're constantly going to find in your normal playthrough. That's just unacceptable. Again, the biggest game in the entire world. They have the largest budget at their expense to perfect all this. They could fill every crevice of every corner of this map with content if they really put the effort into it, and they just don't. They just don't care. The Elite Four fight, absolutely atrocious. The champion is probably one of the worst champion fights I've ever experienced. The fight against Demona after that should have been the champion fight because that was a way better fight. 10 out of 10. But we're not going to get into it because difficulty is not even really the problem here. I'm not a big fan of the music. In Sword and Shield, it went with that in the background at every fucking gym leader fight, and that shit was so hype. I got into it every time. You can't help it. And they tried to go with a similar kind of vibe here, but it just never hit. The gym leader song just never got me hyped. The music just wasn't there for me. I had no love for any of the gym leaders or the champion or anything. Honestly, the businessman was the best gym leader there was, and he wasn't even champion. I'm happy they brought him back twice. I don't think he deserved to be brought back twice, but he was absolutely amazing, and I loved him. But the champion was lame. Garbage. Leon was better in every way, shape, and form. The story could have been amazing. Toro was mind-blowing. I wish the entire game had as much attention to detail as the Toro fight alone had, because it was so beautiful. The entire layout, where you battle him, his style of battle, the Pokemon, the future, the Master Ball, every little detail about the Toro fight, even his hair being flipped back in, like, it was just phenomenal. And I wish every gym leader had that much detail to them, that much character. They could do that. It was great, and I absolutely loved it, and that's why I guess it's 6 out of 10, is because that's the level of detail that should have been present throughout the entirety of the game. Don't even get me started on the little, like, camp battles that they just cut and copied with a different typing over and over. The first one was so hype, but then doing the same exact thing with the same very low level of difficulty throughout the entire rest of them was just embarrassing. It's disappointing, and especially for it was a new feature that was so cool, and I actually really enjoyed it. I would have loved to continue enjoying it more than just the first one, but you just did the first one repeatedly, and it's just disappointing, honestly, at the end of it. And so yeah, as a streamer, probably a 6 out of 10 as well. If you enjoy Pokemon, you're going to love watching it. If you don't enjoy Pokemon, probably not going to be your thing. There's not much difference between playing it and watching it. You get your hype moments, but at the same time, Pokemon could be a grind. But as a viewer, it's satisfying seeing the streamer put in the grind and reach the satisfaction that they were looking to reach, or the disappointment of them failing in a battle. There's positives and negatives to watching it and streaming it, so I feel it comes down to a 6 out of 10 in both categories. I wish Pokemon would put the effort into the game that I feel like it deserves, and eventually push it into being Game of the Year But Pokemon doesn't really seem interested in that at all. It's just not Nintendo's way. They have no interest in it. They're not looking to put out Game of the Year. They're making new, innovative games that you've never fucking seen before in ways you have no other way of experiencing other than purchasing their games. It's been their fucking go-to strategy for years now, and it doesn't look like they're changing it. They're not going to polish it. The next Pokemon game is probably going to be even more ridiculous than this one with all new features. It might feature the 1v5, like, you get into a battle with a Pokemon and all the other Pokemon around also jump in and gang up on you, and that'd be a super cool feature. It's probably still going to be a buggy disaster, but it's going to have new features like that because that's just how Nintendo does what they do. And yeah, that is my review of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.